Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Clutter Boss. I am Jes Marcy. I am your Clutter Boss for today. So, on this episode of Ask a Clutter Boss, we have four very interesting questions. Question number one is about digital versus paper records, a topic that we talk about almost every single week. And but this is a little bit of an interesting take on the question, so I really thought it was worth addressing. The question is, I believe you may have stated that we can scan and keep digital records. I have definitely stated that. I was a victim of identity theft. I am very cautious about saving personal documents online. Can you recommend what software we need for our laptop and iPhones to protect against viruses and hacking? Here is my thoughts on this. Everyone has a different level of what they feel comfortable with when it comes to where you're storing your records, digitally or with paper. Even disposing of our records, we all do it in a different way. Some people hang on to everything because it has got some little bit of personal information on it. Other people throw out everything. Some people shred stuff. Some people put oil on their papers that have personal information. Here's the deal. When it comes to your identity and identity theft, most identity theft happens from breaches of electronic records, but it's not breaches of your personal electronic records. It's breaches of massive databases of electronic records. So even if you don't feel comfortable scanning some of your personal documents and saving them on your computer, hard drive, phone, whatever, it's really important to remember that your stuff is there, whether you're scanning it or saving it or signing up for paperless bills, it's all online anyway, whether or not you do anything to make that happen. So all of your credit card statements are in a database at the credit card company. All of your bank statements are in a database. All of your receipts from every single store that you shop at, all of your educational records, all of your medical records, everything is already online. Whether you choose to access it digitally or create your own storage system for your digital records, it's already there. Everything is being stored electronically. So when it comes to identity theft, unfortunately, I believe that we're most at risk in areas where we really don't have control over who is accessing our records. We are most at risk by having our information in these massive databases that get breached on a regular basis, but we don't have control over whether or not our records are in that massive database. I mean, the government, the federal government, state governments, everyone is keeping your information in a digital format somewhere. Now, we hope that everything is encrypted, but again, these breaches happen nonstop. So when you're thinking about, should I scan and save a record that has some identity information attached to it, likely that stuff is already digitized anyway. So it's one of those, shift in your mindset. Yes, you should make efforts to keep your electronic records safe, but so much of it is outside of your control. And that's the big picture that I want us to look at here. We spend so much time with our paper records and trying to secure those when all of those paper records are really the backup to the digital record that's already out there that we have no control over. So I'm not saying just let your information be free everywhere. I'm saying your information is out there, period. And you need to prioritize your sanity. We can't stress over things that we can't control. In the event of identity theft or something like that, can you easily access those paper records that you need that would reestablish your identity or that you would need to prove who you are? If you have hundreds of thousands of paper records and you need to get to 3 of them, how easily could you find those 3 records? By keeping more paper, are you making it more difficult for yourself if some identity theft occurs, which again, you have no control over most of the time? Make your life easy. Emergencies happen, terrible things happen. Identity theft is rampant. It's a good chance that if it happens to you, it's something that happens because it's out of your control. but can you find the documents that you need quickly and easily when you need them? Can you find, and this is like emergency preparedness 101, can you access the things that you are storing for emergencies in the event of an emergency? If you're storing so much paper records, emergency supplies, that you can't get to it when you need it, or finding that stuff takes days and days and days, is that really prioritizing your sanity? Is that really helping you out when you need the help? Let's move on to our next question here. I inherited 5 boxes of my grandmother's china, which I likely will never use. They take up 3 shelves of storage space, and I definitely need that storage space. This is where downsizing meets sentimental. How do you handle a situation like this? So, this is a great question. When you inherit a lot of stuff from family members, it's really important to think about, why did somebody leave this to you? I mean, they might not have even left this specifically to you. It's possible that you just took that when you were dealing with an estate. When we think about our parents and grandparents leaving us items, was their intention to burden us, or was their intention to bless us? I would say, like, most of the time, their intention was 99.9% of the time, the intention was to bless us with different items. At the time, they thought that the thing would be the blessing. In reality, the space is the blessing. And by letting go of something that's sentimental that somebody gave to you because you need the space, you're really honoring the reason that you got that gift, was to bless you. It's just, we live in a very different world than our parents and grandparents grew up in. So blessing, their parents blessed them with things, and now the blessing is really space and sanity. It's just shifted a little bit. If you have items from your grandparents, like dishes, and you're not using them, they're taking up 3 shelves of storage space, and you really need that storage space, can you keep one plate and display it to honor that collection, but to free up the space? Do you need to have the entire collection to feel like you're honoring the sentiment that came with it? If it's sentimental, do you need all of it, or can one thing represent the entire collection? At the end of the day, we only have so much space. The way that you use your storage space is going to either enhance your life, or it's going to detract from your life. If you're living within your space, it's helpful, it feels good. If you have more stuff than you can fit in your storage space, your home is a source of stress, not a refuge for you. So this is the choice that we have to make. Can you honor the sentimental nature of this collection and let go of the vast majority of it? I thought about this last week. You can love something and let it free, right? You can love something and let it go. Just because you love something does not equal that you have to keep it. I mean, we love and let go of things all the time. It is okay to do that. So that's my thoughts on that sentimental one. Every time my mom comes to my house, she brings a box of things from her house to gift me. I do not want it, but I have a hard time tossing it. I think one of those things in that case is, you can really say, um, I appreciate you gifting me with this stuff. Please know that I can't keep all of it. I can't reasonably keep all of it, and I'm going to have to let some of it go. And again, can you find a small portion of that collection that represents this gifting that is happening on a regular basis? Can you have one thing that represents that, and you save that one thing and let the rest go? Because I guarantee your mom is not trying to burden you. She's actually probably just trying to find a way to let go of her stuff that feels good, without realizing the burden that it's creating for you. So if that's not a conversation you can have, um, can you have, like, the pretend conversation where you at least free yourself of the burden and feel free to let it go emotionally and physically? I have about 20 to 25 cookbooks that I do not use. I'm not sure what to do with them. We're moving, and I feel like I should just discard them, but I'm not sure what to do with them. It feels wrong to throw them away. Any suggestions? Okay, cold hard truth. Everything is going to end up in a landfill one day. Everything. I have a master's degree in archival science. My first job out of college was the director of a small public library, and we had an entire room in that library full of nonfiction books. Like, the nonfiction section was a whole room. A lot of that stuff had not circulated, like 90% of the collection had not circulated since the 70s. So this was 30 years later. You can't hang on to books that are not relevant anymore. They're going to end up in the garbage one day. We would have people bring us boxes and boxes of donations, and we would just have to throw them out because there's only so much space. There's only so much use for everything. This is just cold, hard truth. It all ends up in a landfill one day. If you don't have an easy, convenient way to let go of stuff, then the answer is to put it into the trash. Those cookbooks, if you can bring them to a library, see if they'll take them. But here's the thing, if the library says they don't want the cookbooks, there's a good chance nobody wants the cookbooks. You could post it on your Buy Nothing group, but give yourself a certain amount of time. I'm going to spend 10 minutes making a phone call, doing a post. That's it. Those cookbooks are probably not worth any more of your time than that. And it sounds like, since you've been thinking about it, you posted the question, you've already devoted a lot of energy to this. Here's your permission to just let the cookbooks go whatever way is easiest for you, because your sanity is more important than the cookbooks. You're moving. That's a huge deal. That's usually very stressful. There's a lot of details to take care of. You have to do the best that you can do and let go of the rest. And then later on, if it comes time to buy a cookbook again, you can remember this experience and say, you know what, maybe I'll just look for my recipes on the internet, or maybe I will commit to using the cookbook that I bring into my house. Learn from the experience. It's never a waste if we learn from it. Another interesting one. So appreciate these about sentimental items again. I have boxes filled with concert and movie tickets that I've been saving for years. My husband loves them too, but we're running out of space. Any ideas about what we can do with them? We're considering making an outdoor bar and epoxying them, but then we would have to stop saving new tickets. Any suggestions? I actually love the idea of turning your memorabilia into something that you can enjoy every single day. If you make an outdoor bar and epoxy all of your ticket stubs into I guess maybe the top of the bar, I think that's super cool. That's what a great way to walk down memory lane and to share those memories with your friends and family. And then if you want to continue to save your ticket stubs, go ahead. And if you choose not to, that's okay. Uh, you don't need to know what you're going to do with the future stuff. It's really about right now, this is what I have. What can I do with this that makes a lot of sense for me? And then once you do that, you can choose to keep more and find a new project in the future. Or you can say, okay, this is fun. I had this collection. I had a great idea. I did this with it. I don't need to do this again. I can let go of the rest. But you don't need to know that before you do this. So anytime you have sentimental items, if you can turn them into a display, a collection, do something funky and cool with them, where you actually can enjoy the sentimentality and have that little experience of walking down memory lane, yeah, do that. That's what. Why are we keeping stuff if it's just going to be stored in boxes and nobody ever looks at it? That makes no sense whatsoever. Use the stuff that you believe to be sentimental, especially if it has positive memories attached to it. But if you're just hanging on to stuff and storing it in boxes, the end result is that those boxes are just going to go right into a landfill at some point in the future. Enjoy the stuff that you have. If it's nice stuff, if it's, heirloom quality, get it out and enjoy it. That's why you're hanging on to it, so you can use it, not so that you can store it. So just keep that in mind. And I love this idea. If you have any fun ideas of what you've done with your sentimental stuff, I would love to hear them. As usual, thank you so much for submitting your questions. See all of our previous episodes, Ask a Clutter Boss, on our YouTube channel. From our small business to yours, thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing our content. It keeps it free, it keeps it widely available, and it helps so many other people. So thank you for everything that you do there. And I hope you all have a very wonderful day.